Well, I said it in my last video about how in the UK we beat the far right, and that was basically by counter-protesting them. We did it peacefully. We vastly outnumbered them, and they slinked away back into the shadows. They're literally nothing. That's literally nothing. That's literally all they are now at the moment. They're seen as a complete joke. They fell to pieces completely. So, following on from that, look what's just happened in Boston. Was it 2-3 days ago now? Well, from doing this video, that is. They decided to have yet another Confederacy protest, and then you're just sitting there, you're just like, what is it? I think, well, I haven't got an exact source, but the Independent says that they were outnumbered by about 10-1. So I haven't been able to find an exact number how many people were there, but according to the Independent, they were outnumbered by about 10-1, and the protest, I think their protest literally ended within an hour of basically seeing how many people were counter-protesting about them. Now, what happened after? Because this is what is often, from what I've seen in reports, not being reported, but a couple of publications have reported on it, was that the entire sort of alt-right had about 37 other protests across America ready to go. Boston happened. All those other protests cancelled. And that's exactly what happened in the UK. Now, we have the occasional ridiculous protest by like Britain First or whatever, but if they ever had like a serious demonstration, people would show out in massive numbers and just swamp them. That's literally what happened, and that's as I said in my video, you go out, you outnumber them, and they just slink off into the shadows because because the whole thing about why sort of the alt-right seem to jelly and congeal was that it was just exactly like the 9/11 truth movement. The 9/11 truth movement met on the internet. They think that they're this massive movement when in reality they're not. And then what happens? They start to, we've got to meet up. We've got to actually get together and protest, and what happens? Look, the 9/11 movement, literally 5 people would show up to their protest during their prime, and nothing came of it. They fizzled out. There's barely even a 9/11 protest movement at all. In fact, I can't remember the last 9/11 protest being pushed, even by Alex Jones, someone who milked that for all it was worth. I can't even remember the last time he actually said there was something happening protest-wise for it. So, keep up the good work, America, because that's how you win against these people. You basically show them they're not as big a movement as they think they are, and they will just slink off back into the shadows. They'll probably just crawl back into the corners of the internet, and they will probably start to infight with each other, because that was the next thing that happened to the EDL. They started infighting with each other after the counter protests and all that, and they just essentially fell to pieces. So it will be interesting to see what happens next, whether they will just go straight into the infighting stage next, or they'll try and reschedule these protests. Don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, history is either A, going to repeat itself, or it might not, but it will probably end up repeating itself because they're not as strong as they think they are, essentially. And by showing up in in such massive numbers, you've literally shown them that they're not, and that their message doesn't carry as much weight as they think it does.